Okay, today we're going to do ion readings, and this is what it should be at. This is the neutral spot where you get it to 0, and then you can test whatever you're trying to test. So today we're going to test a Himalayan salt lamp, and we're going to see if there's any ion readings there. Now these are said to produce negative ions that will obviously help with counteracting positive ions and electronics and stuff. So, we put this on at night when we go to sleep, and we also turn on our pulse pyramids, and we sleep really well, dream really well. And so we just wanted to conduct a test today. Again, we've been doing a lot of ion readings lately, and that was just simply because a friend on Instagram said, you should do some of those ion readings. I liked those. And I said, sure, why not? We haven't done it in a while. And I've always said that it's a $50 tester. It's not a big deal. It's not like proving much. The main thing is all the other tests that we do, that we've mentioned, that we will not keep harping on, but it's really about the conductors of life force, the water, the plants, the animals. So, humans. And so we don't see too much fluctuation, do we? I don't think we do. It's pretty steady. I mean, let's see what happens when we just circle around maybe. Pretty steady, I would say. I mean, it goes up to 7, 9, and then it goes negative 7, 9. So maybe that means they're creating balance. I don't know. But we do see a little bit of negative ionization. Nothing crazy, nothing off the charts, but there's a little bit there. Maybe when we go down, how about around? Nothing really crazy, There's a little something happening in there. So let's see what happens when we go over to a dream machine. Okay, so now we see, I would say more happening, right? We see it just start fluctuating like it does when it's near smart meters, iPads, phones, just on their own. They start bouncing all around. And so that's pretty interesting. So we see a lot more activity with the Orgone device. And let's see if we maybe move it around a little. We saw a little bit of activity when we moved it around the salt lamp. Let's go down closer maybe, see what happens when you get close. Okay. So yeah, I mean, these readings, honestly, they remind me of just the last test we did where we were at a smart meter. And they also remind me of the testing I've done outside. The readings haven't been as high here as some of those larger pyramids we've tested. The charging plate, the medicine wheel charging plate, got up to really high as well. But yeah, so we see more activity. So let's go back to the salt lamp. Let's see what we see here. Kind of just going back to 0. Okie dokie. And I think it's a good idea to move the tester around, just because energy is never really set still, right? Energy is always flowing. So I think we're just trying to pick up on the energy currents, if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe it's better to just leave it steady. I don't know. But when I leave it steady, we don't really see anything happening, right? Okay, nothing happening, literally. When I don't move it. When I move it, starts picking up on very, very small variations, fluctuations, right? It's not going too much higher than 0 or too much, you know, it's pretty balanced, I would say, you know. So let's go back again to the dream machine, and now we start seeing higher fluctuations. Okay, so let's go lower. So there's something happening with these devices. I mean, that you can't argue that there's something happening, right? And that's why I say they're self-functioning, because there's just a lot of activity, right? You know, the reader bounces around, and if anything, for me, what these readings are evident of is that these devices are self-functioning. They're doing something. There's activity there. There's action. There's energetic activity. And we see that activity literally show up in the water samples with all those crazy stalactite formations and a vortex in the middle. And you compare that to a control sample, and you don't see anywhere near the same energetic presence. And so what we have evidence of, I can legitimately say, is that these devices are creating some sort of energy. And we know from the legitimate test that I do place weight on, the water test, the plant test, the human testimonials, and animals and insects gravitating, we do know that that energy that's being created, that seems to sustain itself, it has good effects. Causes people to sleep and dream better, feel better, which is huge in these times. You know, if you can sleep better, sleep is for repair. Sleep is for when you're supposed to be repairing. It's your main repair time, and if you can't repair at night when you're sleeping, you're just going to be a shell of yourself the next day, and that's a shame. So everyone deserves good sleep. No one deserves 5G outside their freaking window, or smart meters for that matter. Everyone deserves to have peace, tranquility in their home space, period. So the reason why I dedicated my life to this work is, and I do all these tests, is because I'm confident in the devices, and I want you to experience peace. Because honestly, the more people that are repairing and resting and feeling better, the better the vibration, the frequency is going to be in the world. And that's going to lead to better decisions, just an overall better atmosphere, more ambient, coherent atmosphere, world. And I do think there's a sort of a consciousness activation component to these devices, because it's said that these crystals have wisdom, you know, because they come from the earth, and they're, you know, who knows how old, but we know the earth has definitely some intelligence. Nature has some amazing intelligence, right? So, yeah, anyways, I'm just going off on a tangent here. But yeah, so there is some sort of activity, energetic activity, that causes the fluctuations in the reader to bounce around, and much more than the Himalayan Salt Lamp. So that's pretty much what we can see today. That's our test. And maybe I'll think of another test to do. If you have any ideas, let me know. But the Dream Machine, great device for placing under your bed, great device for activating lucid dreams. And when you're traveling, I've said it a bunch, but throw it in a suitcase, 1 or 2 if you can, and place it under your bed when you're traveling. And I think you'll enjoy your sleep. Much love.